And Judith is going to say, because we're in the midst of our stewardship month of October, reflecting on the cathedral and the place that it plays in our lives, Judith is going to say a word or two. Thank you, Judith.
Good morning, church family. So it's very difficult to stand up here and in just a few minutes try to encapsulate what all of you and Christ Church Cathedral mean to me and to my family through the generations, really. Yesterday, we gathered here and had a memorial service for my mother, Shirley Climo, who many of you remember. And it was really something incredibly special to be here with my son and my brothers and my nieces and nephews and stand around that organ and sing to the glory of God in memory of my mother. And I have so many beautiful memories of events like that here in this church with this cathedral family. Too many to even number in a few minutes. But one of the things that struck me when I was thinking about that was that, you know, my family were very different from one another in terms of where we live. I mean, one of my brothers lives in North Carolina, nephews in Portland, Maine, niece in New Hampshire. We're all over the place, and we're very different in many ways, much like this cathedral body. And we have very vastly different political beliefs, different beliefs in who God is and how that plays out in our lives. Just these differences, but at the same time, we are a whole and we are a beautiful creation. And, you know, one of the pieces of the service was the gospel about Jesus being the good shepherd. And I was thinking this morning about that whole good shepherd piece, and part of that gospel is the part that says that God knows us each by name. And I think that that's such an important part about being a community of Christians, is that we see one another and we're seen by one another. And it's that love, that call to us from a God who knows each one of us by name, that I've come to know being a part of this church. And I think, kind of echoing what the dean was talking about in his sermon, I think with that call, I know there's been times I've sat in the pews and was really only able to sit in the pews because of what was going on in my life. But as I felt loved and nurtured by the God of my understanding and all of you, I became more active and more involved in the life of the church, joined the choir, became part of outreach, part of the executive committee, because I love this place and want to see that it has a future for my son and our children, and that we need to be stewards both of each other and care for one another and the building and the community that surrounds us. And I've been so blessed to be part of that, where we are reaching out to homeless folks through Big Blue and the Drop-In Center, and through feeding folks with the food bags we put together for Square One, and feeding folks through Open Pantry, and being a presence of love and God's grace in this community. And I think as I think about the importance of my contributing my time and my talent and my treasure, a big part of that I want to say to all of you is it's so important also that we think about the fact that we're called to minister not only to one another in this building, but to the community that we live in. And that's become a very important part of Christ Church Cathedral for me. So thank you for letting me share that with you this morning, and God bless you all.